a king in the royal families of Europe. But at first, nobody wanted to do the job because the country was so small. So they had to look a little further, and finally they found somebody in Saxony. And Saxony is a small part of Germany. That's how we got our first king, King Leopold I of Saxon-Coburg. Now, he was related to the British royal family, and he married a descendant of the French royal family. So he had already two major countries of Western Europe as allies. Now, the first king was Leopold I, and the second king was Leopold II. Not the difficult, huh? Now, King Leopold II was extremely rich, extremely wealthy. He even had a part of Africa for his private property. Maybe the name Congo or Zaire rings a bell? Now, that was the private property of rich King Leopold II. And all the income of the copper mines, the iron mines, and the rubber plantations all went into his own pockets. So he could buy a lot of nice things, huh? Now, he really liked to hunt, so he bought all the green areas, all the parks and forests in and around Brussels. And he not only liked to chase rabbit, deer, fox and so on, he also liked to chase the women. So you will see a lot of nice houses in the city center because he had to keep them quiet afterwards. At the end of his life, rich King Leopold II gave all his private property to the Belgian state. That is how Brussels became one of the cities with the most green areas per inhabitant. All those private parks became public parks. That's also the reason why some of those nice houses in the city center became museums, and also how Belgium got its colony. Congo became the colony of Belgium, but actually that was a poisoned gift because those people were really fed up being exploited, and they gained independence in 1960. So the first king was Leopold I, the second Leopold II, and the third king's name was not Leopold III, it was King Albert I. And we refer to King Albert I as the King Soldier or the King Knight, because he was at the reign during World War I, and he stayed with his soldiers, with his army, behind the flooded fields of Flanders in the west of the country. And he was highly appreciated for that. Now, at the end of World War I, the king came back to Brussels to the throne. But he was a really sportive guy. He liked to do extreme sports. And one of his favorite sports was mountain climbing. And unfortunately, he fell down off a rock and he killed himself. And that's how we got our fourth king already. And the fourth king's name was King Leopold III. Now, King Leopold III was at the reign during World War II. But then the Germans were a lot quicker and they occupied the entire country. And they even captured the royal family and took them prisoners with them to Germany. At the end of World War II, the royal family was released and they wanted to come back to Brussels to the throne. But a lot of people thought the king surrendered too easily, too quickly, and in order not to shed any more blood, the king abdicated in favor of his son, who became our fifth king already at the age of 18 years old, and his name was King Baldwin I. But before I tell you more about our kings, I want to point you out a little later at your left-hand side, you will be able to see the Congress column. On top of that Congress column, you will see the